Hi guys, how is everyone? How are you doing now? I'm doing fine myself. Okay, so today we are going to do another sci-fi scene. So yesterday this is what we did. I added a few other details. I added some bubbles in the tanks, like you see. Yeah, and the bubbles, sometimes you can see them escaping out of the tank. I just wanted to do this quickly. Hey Bunny Bright, today we are going to do another semi-sci-fi scene. Yeah, so but this was the render for yesterday. Alright, I guess we can just walking up. Okay, yeah, let's get started. Going to grab my shortcuts and set up the scene. So let's try blocking out, because I have an idea of what I want in my head. So let's block this out. So I want a platform like this. I want to create something like an underground scene. So let me turn on random colors here, see what I can do. Let me look at some art session pieces that we can use for inspiration. Let me see. This is a nice piece. Looking for some inspiration we could use. You can get some detail from this base. I like these uniforms, but let's see what else we have. Have some robots. Trying to see how I can integrate something like this, some of these pieces into the piece I'm working on. Parts of the spaceship can also work for detailing. So let me go to my asset library and just get some pieces that I could use. See if I have anything. Yeah, I have this platform piece that I think I can add here. Okay, I'm not sure why it is coming out like this. Anyway, I'm not going to be too bothered. Hey Kazaik, hey Gutam, I wonder if you could check the cloud scene from your live in Apple and give an idea how could we make it. The cloud scene, I don't remember any cloud scene I made. Let me see. I don't remember creating anything from Apple. Oh, that's way back. Can't remember anything from that far. Okay, so let's continue blocking out this. I think I want to start with a character. Let me just go to my cloth asset library. The cloth library. and just use a male dummy. No. Let me use some pre-made assets. Let me use this jacket and get some trousers as well. I think that's going to be a good starting point for our character. I just need to change these. Let me go to my asset library and look for some cloth materials, see if I have any. I don't seem to. Let me look for fabric. Yeah, I wanted this. Use this as the shirt. Just use this directly here. It's an anim. You lie in F. Oh, you mean? Let me see. Yeah. You mean this? I wonder if you could check the cloud scene in your. Yeah, I would have to check it out and see if I can do it. I can use the same material for the pants as well. We're going to make a few changes to the clothing here. First, let's add just a few things. My VFX motion tracking and scene recreation in Unix stream. Yeah, so the reason why I stay away from motion tracking is that it takes a lot of experimenting. You you're never really sure what kind of results you're going to get. Let me first decimate this close so that we are not using a lot of polygons. And let me pause this guy. I don't think we need the hoodie, but we're going to have a lot of copies of this guy. And one thing I can do is, because this dummy doesn't really have a skin shader, let me try and make one. You know what, I don't really, because we're not going to see him directly, we don't really have to do that. Now I'm seeing that we have some intersections here, so I'll go to my cloth library again and just go to scout mode and just make sure that these details coat. And just call these soldiers. Uh, Another thing I want to do is make this character, give him some style. So I'm going to add another cloth simulation here. Just subdivide it a few times like that. Give it the same material. This time we can make it a bit red, so I'll add a color mix RGB here and just change the color. Add this to color and select a more red color like that. And what I want to do here is just to simulate a cloth wrapping around him. So I think I can use a curve modifier here to kind of direct the cloth a bit. So I'll come in here, just change this to automatic, because I want it to wrap. And actually I could, before I even do that, I can also, let me first hide this camera. I can also grab these hands and just move them apart so that it's easier for me to simulate this. And also want, let me first see. I love your stream. So many tips. Thank you, Atomic Polygon. Thank you. Yeah, I love these streams because of how interactive they are. I get to talk to you guys. Yeah, asset selected, origin to 3D cursor, then this to that, then curve, select the curve, rotate this, let this 90 degrees, and we have a cloth element that should wrap around our character well neatly. If we add let me see, let me apply the rotation of this. Let me see, yeah, like that. Grab this on the X. Yeah, so I want this to wrap around him. Grab this, have this like somewhat like that, I think. And we can use the rotate or twist option here to rotate these pieces so that they are facing the right direction. So I'm just going to grab this on the X, yeah, like that. Now let me add a cloth simulation on top of this. Make sure this is type collision. I will also check my normals. So these are flipped, but that's okay, I think. Is Blender 3.0 stable? Can I use it in my work? Well, I'm mostly using 3.0, so it hasn't really caused any problems. Hasn't caused any major problems for me. But again, projects can differ, so I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Now, let's try cloth sim. We're having a few issues there, but what we can do is change the collision. Turn on under collision, we can change the collision distance to something like 0.001. Self collision 0.001 for the distance, and this can also get thickness, outer thickness. Is it the outer thickness? Yeah, for clothes, yeah, to 0.001 as well. Go back to frame 1, hit simulate or play, and we're getting a better cloth sim, but we're not getting a lot of wrinkles. Let me first hide these bones. I want also this to be quite large, significantly large. So let me add a few subdivisions like that. Now, if I have it intersecting like that, it's going to cause some issues. So let me make sure it's not. Yeah, something like that. Maybe make the cloth even longer on the opposite side. We should be, I think, let me see. Grab. Yeah, somewhere like that. Let me rotate this part here, move it closer to the cloth, and then another thing I could do is add maybe a mount resolution surface modifier. So subdivide this, have it above the cloth and the curve. We should get better wrinkles, but our seam, our collision is not really very good here. One thing we could do is simulate like that, and then apply the cloth. So I'm going to simulate up to there, apply everything. So Control A, visuals to geometry, and then just bring it back, reposition it. And for parts where we are having intersections, I'm just going to turn on proportional editing and pull those parts out of the cloth like that. Go back to the cloth seam, add the cloth simulation. Again, we need to add back everything we have, everything back. So 0.01 for self collision and 0.01 for that playback again. Let me see. I think that is also not too bad. We still have a few problems in some areas. And you can also try changing the blending mode. Let's try linear and see if this gives us better simulations. Not really. Let me see. Let me see what can I reduce here. Let me first see what I can do. I can let me change back to angular. What I don't want is the cloth to fall too fast. So what I'm going to do is just around here, I'm going to select the vertices. Hello, Fire in the Sky. How are you doing? Hello, BVBS. How are you doing? I'm also going to select this part, set it as a vertex group, go to weight mode, and use the blur tool to blur parts of that. And I use that as the pinning group in the vertex group in the shape options. Go back here, just let it simulate a bit. I think things are starting to look better. The only parts that I'm not very sure of are the bottom part here, this part here at the bottom. There's too much intersection, so I'm just going to select this edge loop, get rid of this piece, and just extrude another piece of the cloth here, then add resolution. And I'm also seeing a lot of things going on here, so I'm also going to just grab this piece, make sure I'm having proportional editing on, just so I can untangle the pieces, the vertices at that point, so we don't have a lot of problems there. Simulate again, and yeah, I think this also the trouser also has to be a collision object And what the other thing I could do is come back to the cloth object and play with the shrink factor if I want to get really large wrinkles. Something like that. And I can even add amount resolution here. Up, subdivide this, simulate this one more time, so we get a more detailed simulation. We're getting a few issues in different spots, like here. Because we have a lot of intersection going on, so I'm going to first remove this collision object. Actually, I need that. So let's see what other solution we can do. So I'm going to simulate up to around here, apply a visuals to geometry, add another cloth modifier again, and bring back our pinning group, simulate again. That should get rid of some of the effects we are having, especially the intersecting parts there. I also need to make sure that I bring back my collision, object collision to 0.1, self collision 0.001, simulate again. Yeah, something I'm going to stick with those results. Is the physics in Blender very junky? This is not working as expected most of the times. Am I just terrible? Yeah, Blender is junky. It's junky. You really have to fidget with the settings to get something usable. As you can see, we have already spent like 20 minutes on this simple piece. Yeah, that's how finicky the Blender's physics system is, especially the cloth system. I'm going to go here and smoothen out some of these wrinkles. Get my cloth modifier just to add in a few extra wrinkles in different spots. Okay, get out of scout mode, and we have our soldier like that. Now let's see what we can do. Me and hide our bones, give him a nice pose. Because we want to be looking at him from the back. And for him, I think I'm just going to also grab this piece. Actually, I need a copy of this because we want to have multiple soldiers. So I'll just select, let me first hide the camera, select him, Shift D, make a copy of him, and just call this back up and hide that for a second. Then let's see. Yeah, then I can grab this hoodie, just the hoodie, give it a slight rotation at the back, to the back like that, maybe somewhere here like that. Actually, let me make it larger so that it's not intersecting with the head, somewhere like that. Separate it as an object. I think it's already separated. Now what I want to do is just select a few loops here and there, add them to a new vertex group, assign, I give this a collision, a cloth modifier. Let me just go back here, turn on, let me see, object collision 0.001, self collision distance 0.001. If we simulate, it just falls down like that. It seems to be too large, so let me scale it down. Let me reset the origin, scale it down a bit, because I want his hoodie to be off. Yeah, something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, just have to kind of blend in or look possible. So just use a smooth modifier here just to smoothen it a bit. Like that. Maybe join it to the other parts. I think we can use a smooth modifier on the cloth as well, just to smoothen some of those wrinkles like that. Hey Zigzag, how are you? I think I'm going to use this. This shouldn't be too different. Maybe should be a bit dark. Let me just use a base color here, just make it dark. Like that. Now we had a backup here, this guy here. Let me see, do I have a mask in my assets? I have this kind of gas mask. Just want my soldiers to look sophisticated, so just going to grab this and just put it over his face to make him look sophisticated. And that is, it can be parented to this bone, so that if I change this, let's see how this soldier looks here. I think it looks good. The only thing I could change is the colors. Could use some surface on this guy for his skin, just to make him look more realistic. I'll keep him like that. We are trying to create like a, I don't know how to, like an army scene. And since I don't have the eyes, I don't have a material for the eyes, I'm just going to give him some shades. Let me see, do I have glasses here? Hey, let's just use these. Just make him look super cool. We don't need this to be transparent. He can just be dark like that. Just grab him, make sure he's in the, this is a single collection. I'll just make sure also it's centered. We don't need this anymore. Just make sure this is all centered. Also make sure that these glasses are parented to this bone. Ctrl P, bone. Just also have this here. What is not moving here? Yeah, so just have him in the center. I like that. Now I can instance this collection. So let's see. This is the main character. You want him to be rotate 180 degrees like that. Let me move my camera. Let me use a 25mm. Like that. I'm still not sure about the materials that we are using here, but we can come back to that later. Grab this guy. Now, with this, we can make a few copies of him, of this, and we can just use a particle system to make multiple soldiers. So I'll just use a new particle system, new hair system like that. You only need about 500. Like that. Under render, let's set the select object. Use this object. Is it even rendering? Okay, it seems. Let me see. Okay, it seems we can't really instance an instance. Like if I select this, it doesn't seem to be added. So what I'm going to do, instead of using a particle system, since it has failed, I'm just going to duplicate this manually and add the variations I want. Or I don't even have to do that. I can just use a plane. Just do, what is it called? Control P, parent the object. Just parent the character to the plane and just use. So the scientist yesterday came out good on Discord. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I did render it, and I also did an animation. Maybe let me show you that for anyone who wasn't here. He's talking about this scene here. Yeah, I managed to render out a few frames. It's still a bit noisy because there's fewer samples, but and one thing I added is some bubbles in the tubes for the animation, and also if you look closely, you see that the baby is kind of moving a bit in the tubes. Yeah, and the project is available on Patreon if you want to check it out. So let me go here under instancing, turn vertices, so that we have at least one character. Finally, catching a live stream. Thank you for that, for what you have done. I learn so much every day. You are awesome. Danny, thank you. Are you the one who contacted me via Patreon? I think you are, or was it Blender Market? One of my customers and great supporters, I think. I'm not sure. Is that true? Can you confirm for me, please? Thank you. Yeah, so now we can make multiple copies like this. And I want this guy to be above everyone else. You know, he thinks he's special or something. Let me first isolate this. I don't want to have too many copies. So what I can do is reduce on the number of cuts, loop cuts here. That will reduce the polygon count, hence reducing And we don't want the instance to be shown in the render. Yeah, so something like that. And one thing we could do is to make, let me just, why do we have multiple copies here? I have more copies than I expect. Oh, yeah, I see. I want to get rid of this edge loop and some of Hey Aditya, how are you doing? Yeah, so we have our soldiers here. And I want to have some variation because you see now every copy looks identical, which is not what I want. So I'm going to remove, let me first get rid of this line here so that we have an even distribution like that. And I think I can select the entire grid, and each vertex now has a character. I can go and select, check a deselect, so that we deselect a checker like that, and then do I want that? That will also create a pattern. So I can come in here and just select a few random vertices like that, Shift D and then P to make a copy of this and just have it here, and I can connect them so that is much easier. Connecting them is not necessary, but it make it easier for me to see the position of the vertices. And now what I can do is go back to this here, to the original copy here, the original copy we have, and just make a few, duplicate this. I'll duplicate the entire collection, and make a few variations on this. So I'll make him I'll make this one look, and actually I don't want this to be parented to the bone. We just want, let me first clear parent inverse, just parent it to the object. So I want to make a few changes here, make this guy look the other way so that we have some variation in, and maybe he's more relaxed than the others. He showed us, maybe he's not, he showed us a more tense, just for variation. So that is back 001, and I can parent back 001 to this now. So I'll just select this armature, move it to that position. Actually, that's not what I want. That's back 001. I want to instance another collection called back 001, parent it to this, Control P object, and yeah, that way we have a copy. We have an instance like that, and I think I need to remove, yeah, something like that. Now we have another random character, so I can add this back to these positions, and I see now we should have some variation of some sort. So in some areas I'm seeing intersecting, so I think I need to dissolve some of these vertices so that we only have one character there. And here I'm also going to move this guy at that position there. Now you can see we have some guys looking the other way, just some variation like that. And we can also have some variation in the position, because right now there are two, most of them are two in line. So I can add a displacement modifier, add some noise to the displacement, and that should give us a variation in height. but I don't want too much variation. A very small variation in height. Leaders should have something that makes them him superior than others as a staff or change in uniform. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Okay, where is my leader? Male leader. Yeah, this guy here. Okay, why is he not dressed? Okay, yeah, he's dressed now. I think maybe his cloak or this can be a different color. Maybe the shirt is also a different color. I don't have any boots, do I? Shoes? No, shoes. I have women's shoes. Maybe he wears women's shoes or high heels to make him look. Our make human has what? Has shoes, boots. Yeah, I think it does, but getting it to fit the character, and I don't think we're going to see. Actually, we can make boots here. They are not that complicated. We can just extract them from his feet, cut off his feet. Do we even have to cut off his feet? Let's just do a simple boot from a cube like this. I could use the ones from from what? From Make Human, but yeah, I don't want to open up another application. But Make Human would be a good option for this. Yeah, so let's just stick to Blender. Just do something. Not the best looking boot, but it will do. Shade smooth. Yes, slide some of these edges. Make it fit. Hey COR3, how are you doing? Let's add some boot detail. Booty detail. Not the best, but I've seen worse. This guy has large feet. Just look for plastic material here. I think it can work very well here. Let's make sure it doesn't use any normal map. Apply the scale. Let me scroll back the timeline a little to see what I've missed. No problem, man. You'll find us here. That's going to be our boats, and I think we can make them larger than or bigger than the pants. If I hide this, I'll grab, come to the top here, hit F. Let's extrude this up. I think I need to make the shoe also as big, equally big. I think maybe can also just, instead of making the boots bigger, we can just make the pants smaller at this point here. Now let me use a different profile here. Duplicate this, Alt D, mirror on the X. Again, do the same. Grab this, push it out. Now, I'm not planning to show the feet of the other soldiers, and I think I can just parent this guy, these boots to this guy. Ctrl P with automatic weights. Okay. Okay, I think. You know, I don't really care about the rig. We're not going to use that. And actually just join this to this, and join this to this, and do the Ctrl P. Let me just keep it like that. Did you mirror the boat on the x-axis? How did you mirror? Oh, I use Ctrl M and then X. That will mirror. So Ctrl M X will just mirror. Let me see. Let me get this. If you do Ctrl M and then the axis you want to mirror, it just mirrors it like that. That's some talent on modeling. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Let's start making this scene look good. I'll go to this, remove it. Let me look for a concrete block. I have this element here that I created from a previous live stream. I think it's going to work very well here. And the fact that it has some symbols in it really is a plus for our scene here. I can add, no problem, man. That's the purpose of the stream, so we can learn together. Yeah, that's going to be our concrete base. Turn on ambient occlusion, turn on screen space reflections. Let me increase the ambient occlusion a bit, maybe 2.5. And I think the clocks here are a bit too reflective to my liking, so I'll go to the main characters, go through this guy here, just remove, increase some roughness, give this more roughness. Same with this, give it a little bit more roughness, maybe make it a bit even darker like that. I don't know, maybe I should make this red. Yeah, that is more scary. Let's come to this. You're going to, for a medieval look? No, more of a modern look with all the gas masks and things like that. I think a modern look is going to be more in line. Yeah, so here we are. I'm going to also grab this platform here. It's what the leader is standing on. Let's say, I guess, start working on the lighting. We're going to be using cycles for this. It's gives better results. You model the gas mask. I modeled the gas mask in a previous video. Let's see. So this is what we have. Our lighting is really bad right now. First, get rid of all the lights we have in the scene. Let me go back to turn on viewport denoising. So this is what we have. Let me pause. I think, but is there any alternative to make an eternity of cycles rendering? Like a lot of that's the alternative is just have a better rig, a bigger, more powerful PC. Okay, so let's handle the lighting. I'm going to go to my asset library again, just search for lights, and I have these kind of not really fluorescent lights, but they're lights. Just have to give them some wires. So I'll search for wire here, get maybe something like this. Do I need this many wires? Just delete those. I really don't need too many of these, so I'm just going to delete all those. Use automatic and have these as the wires connecting. Why is my internet slowing down? Okay, I think it's okay now. I want these to be the wires connecting. I want to have in video origins. Yeah, so that's going to be our light. I can have it here. Let's see. If you can build a simple Japanese architecture around it, it would look good. A simple Japanese architecture? Well, Japanese architecture is not really that simple though. I think let me see. It's actually shouldn't be that difficult to make. But this is more of an interior. Oh, so I see what you mean. So if we have building blocks like this around it, we could actually make a good looking scene. So maybe let's try doing that. Let me save this. Why is this skip? Yeah, let's have that there. I'll see. And then that also means I need to change my lighting approach. Yeah, let me remove the sky because I want to have a kind of a night sky. So maybe let's use an HDRI environment map. The night sky, something like this, but this is still too bright. Let me first focus on one thing. Because I wanted to use these lights, but I like the idea of a Japanese setting. So let's try first lighting this as if it was a moon, as if it was a nighttime. So we need a very large area light. Same here. Also, I recently installed Blender. Oh, nice. I recently installed Blender. I don't even know how to use it, but I'm watching tutorials on YouTube. So any tips? Yeah. So yeah, I was working. I don't know. I still have I have an add-on I'm working on. I've already worked on it. It's mostly targeting Blender beginners. I'm not sure if it has been approved yet on Blender Market because I uploaded it yesterday, and I think it would. Yeah, it's still not approved yet. They haven't reviewed it yet, but the way it's supposed to work. But yeah, let me see. Where is it? Where is it? It's called Blender Help, and it's basically a manual, a Blender manual that should. Yeah, it's called Blender Text and Video Tutorial. So it's very easy. You just get it and search for something like how to use modifiers, and it should bring out a few tutorials. Click play on any of these, and you get a short video explaining to you how that modifier works. So this is how to use booleans. You can search how to use displacement, and I'll be adding more tutorials. So this can be very useful for someone who is trying to learn Blender. So instead of just going to YouTube and learning a tutorial, when you run into a problem, you just search for the what you're trying to do here, and you get a quick video on. Yeah, I'll be uploading it on my Patreon page and also on Blender Market, but it's still not yet completed. But yeah, okay. So let's see. What were we doing? We were creating this piece here. So let's first pause the render for a bit and work on this piece. Let me see how do we approach this. So mostly this doesn't look too complicated. It's just a few blocks stacked together and then some details. So let's do that. Start with a block like this. Let me have it on my second screen as well. This is some reference images I was looking at. Let me get Blender back. Get yeah, this image here, and get my stream back. That's so cool. Thank you. If you are a beginner in Blender, first thing you need is practice like this guy. Yeah. Practicing is very, very important. Let me get this image. So the way this looks to me, let me see, expand this. These are cubes stacked together, so just make this as wide, and like something like this. And then we have another cube. Let me give it a wall material. Something like this. First, I tried to make a simple 3D scene coin collecting game using Unreal free assets from. Then I wanted to create and use my own assets, and then that's why I installed Blend. That's a good way to go. You don't need patience, because you want to learn a lot of. Yeah, you have to be a bit patient with Blender. And let me unwrap this smart projection. Yeah, so they seem like we have a block like this, and then another block like this, maybe a bit wider on the X, and another one, and another one like this. Bring back my music. Another one like that. So 1, 2, 3, and a fourth one up here. I think these need to be has to be a bit larger than that, maybe even scaled up like that. So then we get these walls here, these white walls, which shouldn't be too hard. All we need is to create a plane like this. Let me get a wood material like that, and only need one vertex, merge at the center, and use what is it called, a skin modifier. Extrude this up. So this looks more like a red wood, so I guess we can also do that. Actually, this looks more like white wood, something like this. I'll assign this, and I just make sure that this is white wood. So means that this also, yeah, something like that. So all of these should have linked materials like that. And I want to change this to make it more reddish. Yeah, something like that. Now I can just make a few copies of this. So Shift D, and actually let me use a mirror modifier here on this. Mirror this on using this as the mirror axis. Just grab this, duplicate it on the X like that. Then we have I think this edge loop can be, let me see, grab this edge loop, rotate it Y degrees. So we have something like this, duplicate this, and then we should also have a few details. What Discord, what's a Nightbot command do you want? Could be able to help with that. So I think we also need to have some details in here. Let's create some doors or windows. So I'm just going to grab this, add an edge loop here, add an edge loop here. I think I also need a mirror modifier for this end. So mirror. So we need a window here and here, so let's just do something like that. And with that, we can also just grab read my comment. I do my best to read comments. Sometimes, though, when I focus on the project, I kind of miss some of your comments, but I do try to read them as much as I can. Do I have blinds here? I don't have blinds, but they could work very well here. I think I do have them in my building parts though, so maybe I don't have them named correctly. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I do have them here, so let's use them here. Go to the array, just make this so that these are much more thicker, and the inside of this wall has to be a bit darker for things to look better. So I'm just going to assign a new material, make that material a bit dark, just have blinds like that. And can have this duplicated on the other side. Now for these doors, not sure the best way to approach this. Look cool, thank you. Just going to grab this, extrude in. Again, the inside should be using a dark material. And we can now duplicate this, scale it down, and just reposition it on the other parts pieces. Let me move this here. Just grab these. And I think I can just grab this part, duplicate it a few times to create that kind of detail like that. And we can repeat this a few times up. Actually, I think it's much easier to separate this as a different object. Set origin. Just duplicate it. And I think I also need to duplicate this one more time, like that. And I maybe also grab this piece. And duplicate this again. And I'm just going to grab these blinds, Shift D, add them to the top ones here. Can you next time make hard surface robot or just keep bashing or something modeling? I can try that. I can in the hand of the leader. I can in the hand of the leader. We add more personality to him without much work. If you got time, yeah, I think we can do that. We have some time to that. Let's first add this detail. I think this one can have a more of a reddish, more a green material. Let me use an array here. I think this one's a bit wider like that, so we need to make their windows also wider. Something like that. Did you make a war scene? Yeah, we did a few days ago. This stream is very so helpful. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Now we want to make these roof. Let me see. How do they call them? Japanese architecture roof detail. I want to see how these look on close-ups. I see. So let me save this image here. Bring it here. So the way we can approach this is firstly create one piece. So I think we can start with a plane like this and add a loop like that. Just grab this up. I think we need to round it off a bit more. And just scale it. Maybe something like that. Is it? And this side seems to be a bit wider, and it tapers a bit as well, so something like this. My PC specs is RTX 3070 enough for cycles? Well, nothing is really enough. I always need more, but my setup is you can just use exclamation mark specs, and it's definitely not a 3070. I have no access to that. Anyway, so we need to shade smooth, auto smooth, give this a solidify modifier. Actually, before we use the solidify modifier, I think we need, let me see how this detail is. Yeah, it seems to also, this seems to also kind of have a slight rotation up. So I'm going to add a curve there, a 3D cursor there, turn on proportional editing, and try to rotate this a bit, maybe something like that. Let's try different. Yeah, something like that. Yo, thank you for subscribing, Valentin Zunek. Really appreciate it. Hey, the Flair, haven't been able to reach your streams lately due to school. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I last saw you. But yeah, thank you for being here. How is school? How are things there? And what exactly are you studying? I'm working on a 3D platform game. So any tips on making an ice platform and export them without losing materials created using Voronoi texture nodes in Blender? You have to bake them out. You could have used curve with a suitable profile. I guess I could have done that, but yeah. Just grab this here. Since I didn't think of that, I'll just continue with this. And I'm not sure if if that would have worked very well here. Let me first get rid of this edge loop, bridge. So that's going to be our shingle. We can add bevels and other things like that, but this is going to be far away from us. I don't think we are going to be able to see any of it. And now we can use an array. How do they tile on the left? They don't seem to be tiling. They just connect like that. And then add another array for the Y. And this should be connected like that. So we can continue this as far as we want. And I think, yeah, this some good roof. Now we're not going to add in these details. These are just too much. Maybe the least we can do, or the best I can do, is just insert this a bit, push it in a bit, just so we have some detail there. And also it seems that these edge loops here also bend in quite a bit, so I think we need to add that as well. It's not too necessary, so let's not. Now to make it deform onto this base, all we need to do is figure out the scale we want. So let me first see. So the first tile here. And so I think the scale should be that. This should be a good scale. So all I have to do is just have a few copies of this. Like that. Get a mesh like this. Give it a few subdivisions like that. Make it fill the entire piece. Now all I have to do is just grab this, add a simple deform modifier. Is it? No, not a simple deform, but it's called a mesh deformer. A surface deform, I think. Mesh or surface deform. Yeah, surface deform. Select the plane. Yeah, select the plane and bind. Now I can make edits to this, and this should deform the way we want. So I'm just going to rotate this. I think it has a slight rotation like that, but here we also get a slight curve in the geometry, something like that. And it starts all the way from the top, so I think you might want to scale this up. Have something like that. I'm just going to grab this piece and search for, I don't know, concrete material. I'll grab, hey, try this. Just make sure that it's a bit dark and also a bit rough. I don't think we need a normal map, as the details are going to be far in the back. Yeah, I think one thing we got wrong is this part here. Actually, it's already selected for us, so we need to rotate it so that is like that, I think. Is it? Let me see. We need to have this rotated. Need to grab all these polygons, just rotate them so that everything looks like that. Let me grab these polygons on this side, flatten them like that. Why is this? Oh, I think I need to go to the array modifier here and just change this array here. Why is this not giving me what I want? Let me first turn off the deform modifier. Yeah, this here. I think it's this. No, it's that. We need to change I think we need to rotate this back. Yeah, so water can slide the other way correctly. So then we can bring back this extrude, just extrude up past line of faces. Okay, I missed that. I don't know what part she wanted me to do. It used to be like that the whole life. I thought they added extra slats on the ends. Guess I missed that conversation. Anyway, so yeah, we have that, and now what we can do is let me add an empty here, somewhere here. Select this object, go to what is it called? Add a mirror modifier. Select this empty as the mirror object, rotate it 45 degrees. It should give us an angle like that. And we have something like that. But now we have these wings. We just have to select this, turn on bisect, and we should have a nice curve like that. Now then I can just move this like that. And this also can be mirrored. After the surface deformer on the Y, using this, if I turn off the X, using this as the mirror object, I think we need to use X, or is it Z? Nope. So this is our cube. Why is this mirroring on the other axis? This should be mirrored on the X. Should be mirrored here. Not sure why it's not being mirrored. It has to be after the first mirror, and I need to turn on bisect and flip to have that shape like that. Then we can duplicate this, so it seems we don't need this many polygons. If we change the polygon count here, it's going to affect the deform modifier, so let's not do that. So I can duplicate this, or Shift D, apply visuals to geometry, and just reset the origin of this to the center. I can have this like that. Shift D again, have this up like that. Shift D, this seems to be a bit taller. And there are more extra details that you can add on to this. Well, how do you remove the overlaps? I just use the bisect tool here, and try to flip it to get the options, to see if it gives you what you want. Now that we have this, all you have to do is just move it to a new collection. I'll call this building. And just instance that building. And I want this to be up so that we have these steps. So let me grab another block or cube. I think, yeah, this was really a good idea, and can't remember who suggested it, but yeah, the idea of using this Japanese architecture was good. I like it. You guys always come up with the best ideas. I was going for a more generic option, but yeah, that is much better. Oh, this is much better. Going to add a few blocks here. So let's grab these, grab this, grab this and grab this edge loop here, extrude like that, and then just use the shear tool. Hey Ganja Farmer, how are you doing? Glad to see you. I think I made fewer connections, fewer points than I needed here. And that's okay. Looks nice. Thank you, thank you. Like that. And we can make some steps out of this. So I'm just going to duplicate this, make a few cuts, just extrude, extrude. Actually, this has to be in the center here, and maybe another one here, another step. So let's look for a concrete material that we could use here, maybe something like this. Is this live? King Cobra? Yes, this is live. Oh, good man. Where did you get the monks from? The monks, we just used the cloth library add-on. And yeah, that's what we used. And did some fancy cloth simulations to get here. Yeah, so since this is no longer an interior scene, we can just get rid of this light here. And we can, the great thing about Japanese architecture, if you scale the buildings, it doesn't really change the structure too much. So I can have smaller versions of this building in the back, make them, maybe you don't want to overscale these. Have some of these in the back. $55 in chat plus 55 or 52 viewers. Thank you guys. Add based on the origin of the building. Based on the origin of the original building. Oh, so yeah, we can actually just reuse this. I'm just going to add this to the building collection and just rotate it 90 degrees. So instead of duplicating the base itself, I can just have it in the instance collection. Yeah, that's a good idea, a more efficient way to do this. So let me look at the base building. I want to isolate this 50 collection. Let me hide this. Yeah, so the base building should have this. Like that. And actually the base building should also be in the center, so that it's much easier to move around. So I'm just going to grab it. It's a bit slow because we have a lot of modifiers, and I'll disable it. Now if I unhide everything or unsolo everything, everything is going to be packed because I've just reset the origin, but this should make it far easier for us to move things around. Just bring this above like this, have this here. What's the difference between instancing and link object data? Well, instancing duplicating using Alt D just copies the data of the object. So when you edit the original object, the changes are applied to the new object, which is not the case for using Shift D, which is just duplicating. So top channel 1-on-1, did you pick Blender for your 3D modeling? Why did I pick Blender for 3D modeling? First of all, because the tutorials, there are so many tutorials for Blender compared to any other 3D application. So if you want to learn quick, yeah, you're going to have a lot of tutorials, far more tutorials compared to any other 3D application. That's one of the reasons I picked Blender. The other reason is obviously free. And yeah, free is amazing. I think I can sync some of these buildings to make them, and it will seem like it's a completely different structure. So I can even merge some of these like that. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, free is a good selling point. Yeah, so yeah, let's set up some lighting. Let me see Japanese architecture night. See how these look at night. Really bright. I think I'm going to grab this light here, just have it above the main guy. Just make it a bit bluish like this. And I think for this material, I'm going to just use concrete material. So let me grab the concrete material. Just remove all this detail. I like your videos. Thank you. Use Japanese texture. Japanese texture for tile texture. Is there a Japanese tile texture? Japanese tiles. You need some frames somewhere. True. Floor tiles. Let's see. Let's see. Just use a 1. Yeah, let's try 10. And I think the red is standing out too much. Historic floor tiles. Historic Japanese floor tiles. Now, finding a texture that these. Okay. Let me go to textures.com and see these ones like this. I think this looks good, but it has a logo in it. Let's go to textures.com. Let's see, Japanese tiles. It's going to be very difficult to get tiles that look historic as we want them. So we might be stuck with this. Yeah, I think we can get some fire. Like a torch. I think I have a cauldron. Is it cauldron? A cauldron. What is that? Cauldron. Let me see. Pot. Nope. Let me go to my... I need to be in my objects. Yeah, let me grab this piece here. And grab a light, a point light. We want to have some fire in there. Will that look good? A wooden cane that can have rounded top would be good option. Good, I guess. Oh, a wooden cane. Yeah. Oh, you're suggesting a cane for the lid to hold. I think we can do that. I saw the material and shade course. Do you cover multiple ways of mixing two textures? I'm gonna buy. Yeah. They are. Yeah. The course, yes, has multiple. Is focused mostly on materials. So yeah, definitely more ways to mix materials, and I'll be updating the course as well. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to do is change the colors of this red color. It's standing out too much. So let me go back to the character. I think it's called this character here. Just change this to a darker color like that. The right building and not in the frame. Oh, yeah. I think my camera is not well centered. Oh, maybe the building is just way too off. Yeah, something like that. Now maybe we can add some light also inside there, inside here. Maybe an area light. A rectangle. Doesn't have to be too powerful. Just there to kind of highlight that there is something in the back. Now maybe we can use a similar light on each side of the building here. Just so we have some light to separate the background. That's Japanese architecture. Yeah, yeah. It is. Maybe add some lights in the background. I'd help. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's just was thinking of that as you type that. A wooden cane. Kind of keep on forgetting. So for the wooden cane, let me first pause the render for here. I think we can create something. We can use a curve. Just set this to automatic, like this. I want some fancy curve, so we're going to make it something like this, and I'm going to grab a circle like this, and this circle is going to be the profile of this curve. So I'll go under geometry, object, select this curve, scale it down, and I can subdivide this a few times and just move these polygons. Let me actually isolate this for a second. Isolate these two objects so that we focus only on them. Do this. We can just distort this around a bit like that. Make a copy of this. Make a copy of this. So we have a stick that looks like that. And the small one shouldn't have a lot of resolution, so I'm just going to dissolve some of these points. So this wooden piece fits better like that. And now what I can do is just subdivide this a few times. Select the last one here, turn on proportional editing, make sure that I have connected, and just use the tilt tool. Just rotate, give this a slight rotation like that. I think it looks cooler. Just maybe shrink the cane a bit. Grab this. And if we go to sculpt mode, we can convert this to a mesh. Let me see how many polygons. Yeah, okay, this is really dense. It doesn't have to be that dense. We can come to this and reduce the polygon count. Just convert this to a mesh, wireframe, object mode, or sculpt mode. And I want to use Dynatopo to add in some details, so let's do that. So we can come to this and use the clay brush to just add some details. We can use a lesser detailed size. Okay, I think we need a lot of detail in some areas. I think I made it worse. Just undo this. Yeah, you don't need to spend too much time on this. This is good. The stick is good as it is. Let me get the wooden material. Wood. Apply it. Just use. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, this is a good wood. Is that a walking cane? Yes, it is. For our master here. Origin 3D cursor. Get our scene back. Thanks for the lowest priced course with more content. Please make one on modifiers. Thank you, no problem. Thank you for the support as well. think this should use just going to remove this. Just grab his hand and rest him on the stick. Just make sure that nothing of these is intersecting. Yeah, thank you, Deathwalker Music. I thank you for subscribing. Look for a night HDRI sky. Okay, let's go to texture. Texture Haven or HDRI. Is this HDRI Haven? And look for Polyhaven. Look for an HDRI. A night. Which kind of night? I think this one with some. Okay, the clouds are too much, are too bright. Let's look at this night no lamps here. This here at least would be, or maybe this. There's 30 MBs, and maybe this. I don't want the lights in the background. Maybe this as well. So let me see where this is going. Downloads. So I'll just go to my world settings. Yeah, so this has to be a background environment texture. Hey, do you have a Discord server? Yeah, you can use exclamation mark Discord to access the Discord. So let's look for the HDRI. So we have this. It's too bright, so we need to reduce the strength to something like 0.1 or 0.2. That's still bright. I think 0.1 is where that's to 0.05 maybe. 0.01. Yeah, we still see some stars, and I think we need another light, maybe just, let me just grab this light here, up here, just to add some highlight onto the roof. I'm going to add a light around there, make it a very large light, maybe 10. Let me try 10 like that, so that it distributes the light more evenly on those roofs. Make it less bright. Let's make it maybe 5. Maybe adding lights on the clothes, like clothes line between the building with lanterns hanging Oh, lanterns. Yeah, we could create some instead of using, I can use some lanterns. Lantern. Let's find some lanterns we can use. Yeah, this doesn't seem too difficult. Let me see. Japanese lantern. Are these here? Yeah, these are doable actually. Very easy to do. So let's do those. Let's save this. Let me pause. Get a cylinder, like a circle like this, use about 16 vertices. Extrude on the Z. Just fill at the top, fill the bottom, squish it a bit like that, round off the corners heavily. Yeah, so it looks more like a circle like that. And I think we can add a few edges like this. And let's see, should I do that? I think I need a few edge loops in here. Yo, thank you for subscribing, Nico Craft. Really appreciate that. If you search any Japanese village where there is always mountains in the background. I see. Mountains are always interesting. Yeah, but you're right. At night time, it may not be very easy to see. I'm going to grab this, push them out. Okay, that's more like a bit of this. Okay, I need to push this in. Yeah, something like that. Origin to geometry. Then let me check. Then what we need to do is give this a translucent shader. So let's go to the materials here. You could do one wireframe and one clear. One wireframe and one clear. Oh, do you mean to add in these lines? I think we can do that. So if I grab a few of these edge loops, like this, like this, like this, this here, and this here. I'm not sure if this is what you mean. If I grab this edge loop, here, here, and here, shift it, separate them into a curve. All right, convert them to a curve, and just give them some thickness like that. Shade smooth. Do you mean something like this? Not sure. That's what you meant. I think those should be there. They just don't need to be too thick as I've made them. Where is my music? Where do you get these ideas? Some of them are from chat, some of them are from the internet. So it's just a mix of different ideas from you guys, my ideas, and the internet's idea. So you're saying something like that? Yeah, I think it makes sense because I'm saying those lines too. So let's work on the material. For the material, I'm going to start with grabbing a paper texture. So let me go to my resources. It would. Let me actually just use my texture folder add-on because I can't remember. So I haven't finished merging the texture add-on, the texture folder add-on with the asset library. I'm still working on some functionality. So let me look for paper. Paper. Yeah, paper like this. I want to import image as texture. Yeah, I want to use this texture. I will just use object mapping for this. Maybe some Japanese music. Yeah, I don't think there is. I can find some free, non-copyrighted. I think there is, but I'm not even sure what to search. But it would make more. It would be fitting for what we are working on. Okay, so something like this. I'm also going to grab some grunge map. Let me see. Do I have a grunge? I don't think I do. This is going to be our base. We need to pass it through mix RGB and find a Fresnel mask, create a Fresnel mask. I'll just use the facing option. Can you build the house, please? What house? Because if you're just getting here, we have already built the Japanese house, if that's what you're saying. There are some themes in here, but I don't mind them too much. And I guess I can also grab a logo somewhere that we can use here. I don't know if I can add any logo in here. Let's use the Avengers logo. I use object mapping as well. But we need to use the extend or clip option. Actually, the clip option may not work for us in this case. Maybe let me just grab a different. Logo here. Let's use this and just add this, blend this with this. And this should be the factor. And we want a shader translucent material mixed with this. You can use the Latin texture from. Yeah, I should have thought of that, but there is some logo in this. Let me grab a metallic texture or a metal material. Create a metal material for this part here. And we have ourselves a lantern. If we're using Eevee, we need to make sure that this doesn't. Yeah, so that's how Eevee looks. It doesn't look too bad. I need to make sure that it doesn't have any shadows, but I want to use cycles. So I'll add a point lamp in here. Just give it a very high intensity. So that's how our lantern looks. I like that. And just going to parent this to this. Control P. And actually the top also has some detail as well. So I need to select this edge loop here. Maybe add an extra edge loop here. Shift D, extrude up. So something like that at the top and at the bottom as well. I'll just mirror this and I then grab just have my pivot point around there, origin to 3D cursor, and I can origin to 3D cursor, and I can reset the position of this like that. And I'm also going to make sure that everything is selected about the lantern. Create a new collection, call this lantern. Can you show how to make grass move? Yeah, but grass is creating dynamic grass is really computational heavy, so yeah, my stream would crash. Okay, so let's have a few lanterns, and we're just going to have them hanging from one. And bring back the cycle render here. I want them to be hanging from one building to the other via some lines or curves. Okay, Blender is crashing. And make sure that's not crashing the stream. I didn't log in Blender Market. I bought the course, but I couldn't find it. What should I do? You didn't log, so where did you buy the course exactly? If it's not on Blender Market. I move lantern to original collection. Original collection. Why should I do that? Because what I want to do is just add a curve object like this. I use auto, so one curve from there up to here, and subdivide this or divide these a few times like that. Actually, I just need to divide this. You can have a wire like that. That's going to be one wire. Give it an extrusion so the wire comes from one end to the other, and then we can create, it has to be a bit sagging a bit, so these ones here at these points here should use a vector and scaled like that. And I can duplicate. Why is this? Okay, my engine has crashed. My render engine has crashed. Let me first change to, yeah, so you can see the wire hanging there. Yeah, I want the lanterns to just hang like that. I thought you were going to hang each lantern on the building, so to show the detail. I know, I think we can just have them hanging on the compound like that. Let me switch back to the GPU. Stream pause. Yeah, has the stream paused for everyone? Okay, I'm checking. I think now it's okay because, yeah, I was switching from a GPU to CPU, so I think The stream paused a bit. I thought on the buildings too. I think it would look much better if they're just hanging on a wire like this. So I'm going to do that. Do it like this. And if I suppose give this a wire-like material. And now what I can do is have a few extra wires hanging over this. So I'm going to duplicate this, Shift H, and subdivide this a few times. Actually, I just need to subdivide it a few. Grab points like this, drag them directly down, grab the points here, change them to vector like that, just scale them by individual origins, and that should give us nice sagging wires where our lanterns can hang. Now I can just instance each lantern at that point. Have to be a bit shorter. Yeah. Can also just have them like that. And it seems that they're hanging quite low. So let's bring this up. Now we can duplicate this line. Just rotate this so that they're hanging from another piece. Like that. Yeah, I should back up. That's true. I should be backing this up. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the lantern for a second, and I just use the translucent shader. And I think I can select the light and just first reduce the scale, and I'm not sure how much power I want to give this. Let's try 20. Actually, I think they should have the principal shader mixed in. And I can grab this. Just make sure this piece, the line, and these are all using the plastic material. Let's see. We can add some highlights onto some of these buildings. I'm just going to grab this light here. See if I can make this One big plane with a slight emission to show overall environment a bit more. One big, maybe what I can do is add some fog. Yeah, one thing I could do is maybe add some fog. Let me see. Do I have some flags? Flag. I think I can add in some flags like this to help sell the scene a bit. This cyberpunk Japanese scene. This is just a Japanese scene. Where is the lab? The lab is in the... You can get it on the Discord server. A lab is a color space. Oh, you mean the color space? Let's see, what else can we do here? Let me select all the lights I have in the scene, Shift G, type, and just have them move them into a light collection. Lights collection. And I want to first turn them all off just to see how the scene looks with the lights we have. I think if I add a very large light in the background here, it can help maybe make it wider. Something like that. Now let's see what else can we do. Let's see what... I have this area light. Maybe we should have some directional light coming from this side. No. I think also maybe we also need some this concrete to be a little bit rougher than it looks. Add a full moon. I think that is something we can do. I just grab a sphere, add it somewhere there. Shade smooth. Where's my emission shader? Yeah, here. And I'm just going to grab a moon texture. And just use it in here. So since we have a moon here, I think we can add a big area light here. Let's see. Let's add some trees. So I'm going to get the botanical add-on. Let me get the botanic add-on here and just add some trees in the background. Let me see a very large tree, maybe something like this in the background. And another one somewhere there, maybe a bit smaller. And almond can be just hidden. Let me grab a cube, just size it up to our scene. Now this is going to be our volume object. Another thing I'm going to do is just change. Let me get my building block. Let me first pause. Actually, the building on close-up is also looking good. What I'm going to do is just grab this base, Shift D, just move it to the main collection, and use this as the platform, our main character or main guy is standing on, instead of using this. If you animate the camera, then parent the fog cube inside the cube with the camera. So fog distance is correct. See, can do that. You know, it would be funny if they were doing what Michael Jackson monster dance at the same time animation. Yeah, but setting that up is mad crazy. Maybe the mode just a little bit bigger. Make the mode. Okay, let me grab this. Yeah, I think yeah. I like that. And I'm also going to grab another fog. Create another fog object here. Okay, let me change this to GPU. I need a Japanese hat. It's not that difficult to model. Let me see. Japanese hat. I see. They are actually not too difficult to make. So my GPU has crashed, but that shouldn't be a big problem. So the Japanese, there are several styles I'm looking at here. Let's get something like this. It's way much easier than. And actually, do we even need to create something new, or can we just get away by just? Can we get away by just doing this? It could be like a cherry pasta festival with particles floating in the air. Yeah. But my PC can't handle it. It's already struggling with this. Let me see. This crashed. The GPU is still not responding. Let me open and close Blender. And I think one thing I could do is just bring this a bit closer, because I saw that the building looked good, so there is no point in hiding it way in the back there. So I just also make sure that these are brought closer with it. Yeah, let me close and open this. Love the lantern on the cable. Yeah, I think who gave us that idea of the lantern? I forget quite easily. Yeah, I wanted to have some fog. Supposed to be. Yeah, something like that. I like how this guy is holding the stick. Let me make sure that is on the surface here. Surface seems to be above. So actually should bring looks very nice. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I need. Let's try a different color for their clothes here. So that's this guy here. No. Yeah, something like that. I think I'm going to grab and just scale this pot down. Just duplicate this. I don't know. I think I can instance another. The heart looks a little bit too flat. You think so? Let's see. Let me see. What can I do about this heart? Can grab these rings. Maybe give it some detail like that. We need a frame image out. I need to frame an image. You need a frame image out of the port. I'm not sure what you mean. Let me see. What do you mean? Frame the image out of the port? It's confusing. You are confusing me. Let's see, what else can I do? Where's my music? Yes. Let's see what else we can add. No pipes. Nah. Let me look through some medieval Acquis. Furniture? Do I have anything usable here? You mean frame like fire. Thought like frame the port as a camera framing. A frame. Yeah, so the reason why I'm hesitant to add a frame because I would have to animate it. I want to animate this image, but I don't think I can animate the frame and make it look good. But I'm going to give this a quick render and see how things look. And yeah, I'll be posting the image on my Discord and social media, Instagram and everything else. I rarely post there, but this time I'll try and see. That's the social media. This is Discord, and yeah. Let me see if I move, frame the camera a bit up. Maybe another thing I think we could do is just make another of these.